You're listening to the Bathtub Refinishing Podcast. Powered by BathTubGuys Refinishing. We discuss the refinishing industry, interview owners and operators, and give tips to business owners and entrepreneurs. Now, here's your host, Daniel Montalvo.
You're still currently doing all that.
You're a boss woman in the industry.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
wild. Like, you know,
That's more important than
we
men
have a
in the
limited amount of females who are in the industry, and we pretty much know which ones they are.
Yep.
And you're at the top tier of women in the industry operating on an elite level. You know, and that's something to consider in a male-dominated industry.
Which is one of the reasons why I think it's good that you decided to come on, because, you know, a lot of this, like he says, most of the industry is guys who do everything themselves, and there's a lot of fucking sexism and bullshit too. You know, I a couple times have stepped in because there's a girl. Her name is Marissa. And she's an owner operator. Her and her mom run a company out of Texas, and she gets dudes like trying to tell her how to do stuff, how to price things, and it's like she's busier than you.
She's doing well without them.
But you know, like the fact that you're at the end of the day a woman in a male dominated industry, and you guys have found a nice, you know, balance of the teamwork. That's huge. That's something that's not seen all the time.
Yeah, well, I think with us, I mean, how do I say it? Like, it's important to know your place, right?
Yeah.
What you bring to the company. Like, I don't know everything about reglazing, but you ask me what's going on in the office, you ask me what's going on with the books, you ask, you know, Crystal what's going on with the books. Like, we can, you know, read the whole manual for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand, you know, the whole reglazing aspect of it, but I've never actually put a gun in my hand or anything like that. But then again, we have partners in every aspect of the business that's their job, that's their role, and you know that's what they do, and respect that position, because I'm not going to tell you how to train the guys. You don't tell me how to
run your office.
to do the schedule. I mean, I'll take your input and everything, but we all respect.
90% of CEOs weren't in the field.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not your technical knowledge as much as it is your management and leadership skills.
Right.
And that's what you and Denny have built together and have worked at all these years. That's what's taken this company to the next level. Because just like you threw that fucking grenade in there, you saw how quick you could replace them. They're not replacing you.
Right.
You know,
sure.
That's unreplaceable.
And that's so when you guys were talking about before, you know, how do we keep people from going out and just do? They're not going to. A lot of these people are going to try and fail. 99% of them.
And that's what he has to keep reminding me on that. When I get frustrated with everything that's going on, and you know, when I start to doubt like the decision that we made, he tells me, you know, like just let them do what they're gonna do. You know, they don't realize everything that we do on the back end.
Yeah.
They don't realize how much things cost. They don't realize what you're doing to get into the properties. You know, just let them have their 3 months of glory, and then, you know.
They want to be a top dog till it's time to be a top dog.
It's expensive. It's not
and it's
cheap.
scary. It's
I mean,
scary.
to do it the right way, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
To do it the right way is a tip.
She just said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's expensive.
So I know we touched on it a little bit, but what was the hardest part of handing the power over? You know, like was it?
You're asking me?
Yeah, for
Okay,
you.
okay.
So was it entrusting somebody else with? Was it just that, or was it like that you genuinely feel like you'll miss it?
It was.
I want to say, because for me, I'm not gonna lie, I fucking love having the power.
I was going to say, or is it the ego?
Yeah, that's me. That's me. But I also realize that, you know, as we grow, if
You
I
need to hand off responsibility.
if I want to be the brand builder, I can't be answering the phone.
Yeah.
So that's a good question, bro. And I think the easiest way to answer that for me is why it was, I don't want to say it was easy, but what made me realize that it was time for me to do that was I had something else growing.
Okay.
I had another baby coming.
Yep.
Right? And this baby was like a dog, man. You know, for every day a dog, you know, every day a dog's alive, it's like 7 days for them. Right? So Ace just started cooking. Right? So I kept trying to hold on to Alliance. I'm not saying Alliance is still growing, it's still cooking, it's still doing its thing, but I wanted to put myself in a position where I was learning new things. I was doing other things. I was doing way more than I ever had before, right? And it was a challenge, right? Before I was so used to just selling bathtubs and countertops. Now I'm going to properties and I'm selling a complete renovation. Not just $2,000 jobs. Now these jobs went from $20,000 to $40,000, now $1 million, now freaking $5 million to $10 million contracts. So for me, it was like, okay, man, it was an internal battle where you have to let it go.
Yeah. Danny, who guided you through that?
Through
the change, because I can imagine jumping from this ticket value to that ticket value. There was got to be some variables. You were like, how do you?
I'm gonna hand up really high.
All right, so then Michelle, you are.
It was her, honestly, so, man. She was the one that says, she would tell me all the time, hey, you got something else growing.
Yeah.
Right? Believe me, trust in me that I can do this. Not without you, but I can do this while you're gone. Right? Give me that belief, right? Let me run this baby. Let me run this ship. I'll take care of it. Right, and it took a while. It's still like even lingering parts where I kind of dabble in, and she's like, "Hey,
you guys are still in it right now."
She got the samurai ready to just chop my ass up, bro.
But I think everybody in the business too kind of understands him now. I joke with him all the time, like Natalie. Like sometimes he'll start to think that we're not doing it right, or he needs to put his 2 cents in a little bit too much, and Natalie will be like, "Danny, I got it, Danny." Or she'll be like, "Michelle, what's wrong with Danny? Why is he coming in and poking his fingers everywhere?" But
Danny, what's your experience dealing with me? We don't talk about that too much. How have you felt?
Oh, you know how I am, bro. Like, I hold myself to a high standard. I hold my brand to a high standard, and I know that it was a transitionary thing. But I've seen the change in you. I don't even have to tell you. See, that's the thing. It's like me and you. Like, it doesn't even have to be spoken. Like,
and then, by the way, this is the first time we've talked about this. So here's some shit we're gonna find out right
now. Finding somebody like that is rare.
I saw
somebody with the same passion.
I've told Jonathan a million times. If a lead comes in, I'm on it. Like,
flies on shit.
So sometimes, and I get it. He has family. He has shit going on. But I'll be like, "Hey, this lead came in. I'm on it." That's what he texts me back. It's no, I'll get to it tomorrow. It's no. It's like. They put an inquiry at 7:30, and I'm holding my 2 fucking kids. I'm gonna text them, and now it's like handled. Like I know he's got it. You know what I mean? And it's just been a lot of that. A lot of like we think the same. He'll come to me with an issue. I'm like, I was literally thinking about that the other day, and then we work on how we're gonna build it. It literally like half the things we were talking about before, we were talking about yesterday. And we check in often. If he's in the area, he'll drop by.
Every single day.
It's pretty often, much.
Every day. There's not a day that goes by where we don't have at least one conversation.
Yeah.
Good. Have to, bro.
Yeah. Sundays, Saturdays, Fridays, it does not matter.
So what made it easier for me, too, was, with Ace Renovation, my partner Ivan, Ivan, I love you, brother. He knows this. He's the brother from another mother, man. He understood my language. He understood. In this industry, if you get an email that comes in, "Hey, I need an estimate on this, and this, and this, how soon can you do it?" Right? I didn't have to explain to him, "Hey, stop what you're doing, go get that shit handled." Right? Yep. He was already on. 10 minutes later, "Hey, ma'am, I'll be there tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'll walk the unit. I'll take pictures. I'll do measurements, and shortly after, you'll have your full estimate." Yep. Right? So that's always been my thing with Alliance is, in order for us to be different, if we get an email of a property saying, "Hey, I have 5 tubs, I need them reglazed, how soon can you do it?" Right? As soon as that email hits, we have to be responding. We cannot wait. We cannot wait, because the minute that you say, "Okay, I'll get to it in a couple hours," right? There's someone creeping in the back door. Yep. So my rule of thumb is stop what you're doing, right? Promote 5 minutes to that, get them answered, get a technician on site, get a QC guy on site, send me, make sure someone is there.
Yep.
Right? So that eliminates your competition right off the bat.
Yeah, we were talking when you were gone, but the oldest mantra in business is time kills deals.
Yes.
And especially when they're asking things like, "When can you do it?" I mean, if you cannot read between the lines, they're saying time is of the fucking essence, guys.
Yeah.
So, for a lot of the people that complain about cheap asses, it's like, well, there you go. That's where you could provide that extra value that the others won't, is by being Johnny on the fucking spot.
Johnny on the spot.
And how many times have you gotten a fucking lead that just insta books? It happens with bathtub guys all the time.
We get approvals before they even know our availability.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just booking, and then they're like, all right, now we're going to talk about when we can get there.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but like there's times where when I get there or someone gets there and the customer's saying, well, just so you know, I emailed like 2 other guys and it's been 24 hours and I still haven't got a response.
Yep.
Right. Just that alone, you got the job.
But you have a lot of other people who are just arrogant. A lot of people in the refinishing industry in general who I only answer emails at 8 p.m. on Tuesdays. It's like, well, no fucking wonder you're there, because they do things in their own business that they wouldn't tolerate. That's what I always get upset about. You always talk about Amazon Prime. They're there, like
Next day.
Next day, sometimes same day, sometimes in 2 hours. But you know what they're not doing? Making people wait 3 weeks.
No.
And if you're one of these guys that operates this way, you just got to think, if I was in the market for a tub and somebody told me, like, hey man, I'll get back to you on Wednesday, are you going to wait around? Like, if you really have the need and the means to fucking get this project done, are you going to tolerate that? No. You're going to go and you're going to fucking find someone who answers and addresses your concerns and gets you an estimate now. There's very few people that go for that bullshit. Usually the ones that are cool with waiting around are the ones who are cheap asses and they just want the cheapest thing. So they'll wait around to get the tub for $200.
Yeah, so I drive her crazy because I'll be like, I'll send, if I get an email or a text message from a customer and I send it over to the office, right? I'm very impatient, bro, right? This is a new customer. This is new work that's coming in. I'm sending it to the office. Hey, I need you guys to respond to this immediately, right? And I don't. 10 minutes goes by. I don't get if I'm not getting a response. Hey, I got the email. I'm taking care of them. Don't worry about it. I'm calling her like, hey, I sent this over. It's been 10 minutes. They haven't told me they're taking care of it. What the fuck is going on, right? Because that's the difference, bro.
Yeah.
That is the difference in this industry, bro. The one who is the fastest, the most consistent, right? The most persistent is gonna win.
Especially
right? And that's the thing, like with her, like that, I would tell, I get on her nerves, but I tell her all the time, no, we need to have a response immediately.
That's customer service in this day and age. You have to be fast. Like if you want to charge a lot, you have to be fast and good.
Amen.
Like you can't be fast and good and slow. Because nobody likes slow.
Repeat that one more time.
You can't be fast and good and slow.
Thank you.
Yep.
You have to be fast and good and that's it.
So Carlos, how are you integrating your wife to because I know you're looking to scale and implement all these things we talk about on the podcast, and you're living proof just like me. And me and you are in similar situations where we've been doing the work for a minute. And we have 1 or 2 guys, and the goal is to break past this threshold. What steps are you taking?
So, first off, thank you guys for allowing me to always sit with you guys. Every time I sit with you guys, I'm learning. Me personally, we've talked on the phone till 12 at night. I'm always picking your brain. You're always giving me solutions. We're always helping each other out. I got the pleasure to finally meet him after 2 years of you telling me, yo, you need to meet my partner. So that's always good. What I really like was the fact that I actually took it upon myself to be like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of just sitting around. He's been telling me to sit over here. And ever since then, it's like you guys woke up like a beast in my head, because I knew the steps. I was just always afraid, and I was always holding back. Ever since I sat down with you guys on December 30th, was it?
I think so. It was like the end of the year.
We're like, 2 months now?
Yeah.
Since then? I think you know it firsthand because I'm talking to you all the time, but things have it's already been a 180. My wife, she's always been a believer of me. She's always she's my number one. I'm sure this is why this dynamic works so well. It's because, yeah, sure, you guys may get into it from time to time. Running a business and living together, that's not easy. Believe me, I know firsthand. My wife and I are the same way. 12 years married. We have kids, so we manage things together. She is, like I said, a believer, so she is always there. Like, she's literally just texting me like, "Hey, a new lead just came by. Did you hit it up? Do I need to hit it up? Are you still on the podcast?" Like, et cetera, et cetera. Having someone like that, like kind of like Jonathan with Danny and stuff, like that's so important, because just as he was saying, I can't do everything. And I can't tell you how many jobs I've missed because I'm spraying a tub, or how many jobs I've missed because I'm doing whatever, because I'm stretching myself thin. I've spoken with you on this all the time. I've gotten mentally so stretched out where I need, like, oh man, I need a day or two to myself because I'm just doing too much. So the whole ego thing, I need to bury it. And I have been burying it, you know that. So I'm trusting my wife more. I'm giving her more responsibility, but only because I know that she can do it. In the last 30 months, I think I've already doubled what I've done in the last couple of years, just for like in a month-to-month basis. So that feels great. I think you guys can see the energy in me lately now. Like, I'm always extremely happy right now. Like, before, you know me, I always used to kind of stress the small stuff. Obviously, in the last year, I took it upon myself a lot to take care of myself mentally and stuff. So I've done a lot of 180 as far as, like, you know, being able to handle situations in a better way, rather than like, oh, okay, man, like I'm stressing out about this. Now I'm just more like, how can I grow from this? Which is something you were tapping in earlier. I'm trying to grow it. I'm trying to grow it, and it's starting to work out. I'm starting to see it. And it really is a small thing at a time. It really is truly a small thing at a time. I feel like I just restarted, which is just something that we were just kind of talking about.
We've all been through the restart, bro.
Yeah.
Sometimes what worked for 2, 3, 4 years is just not the same.
Exactly.
And you got to hit the reset button.
We got to adapt constantly with the times that are changing.
Yeah.
So.
And also, you can't put yourself out of business worrying about other people, bro.
Yeah. Or worrying about the past. Like, before, you know, before, like, I kind of came into this before social media was really like the thing and stuff. Word of mouth I depended on. Well, word of mouth only gets you so far.
Yeah.
So when that wasn't working, oh my God, like, I was too stunted thinking like, oh my God, why isn't this working anymore? Instead of being like, okay, that's not working anymore. Now it's what? Now what can I venture in? And luckily I've had you literally, I guess I can kind of say, in my back pocket, which you've trusted me enough also, because I know you don't do this for everybody.
Which is big, bro.
Which is big. And I think I've earned my trust too, you know? Like, I think I've done a lot that Danny's been like, damn, okay, Carlos is worth it. Because I know earlier we were talking about Jonathan and how we were like, Dan, like, it's so hard to find that one guy. That's a 1 in a million. And I always want to also strive to be that 1 in a million guy. So that's something that I always want to try and like show everybody, my proof that I'm worth where I'm at, you know.
But it took a lot for you to get there, because
it did.
There was a time and a place where, you know, you were doubting a lot of the stuff, and I would always, for everybody out there, like, I would tell Carlos, like, I'll keep you busy till ever, you know, but
that wasn't enough for me.
You're too talented to be doing this.
It wasn't enough for me, and he would tell me that, and honestly, even that was kind of like a slap in my face, because I'm like, damn. Like,
but dude, to have someone like Daniel to tell you that, because I tell you right now,
you don't have to say that.
No. There's a lot.
He could have just been like, "Hey, just come work with me."
There's a lot of motherfuckers out there that won't tell you that simply to gain more, you know,
leverage.
Oh, I know that. I know that because I've met them. Those guys are everywhere. Yeah. The ones that are just like, "Yeah, man, maybe you should just come work with me." And I've had people straight up tell me that. You know, he gave me the option. He's like, "Bro, you can come work with me. Yeah. I'm going to keep you busy. I love you and I love your work," because he knows how I handle everything. He throws me a job, and I'm Carlos Bathtub Guys. And mind you, I'm Carlos at Kings Renovation. Yeah. But whenever I got a job, it's, hey, this is Carlos with Bathtub Guys. How can
he handles the warranty? I don't even hear about warranty calls. He handles them.
I tell clients, call me. If there's something, I call him. I'm like, yo, bro, client, this, and this happened. This is the possible upsell. But you know what he's even done? He's been like, bro, put that in your pocket. That's yours.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally done that for me.
But those qualities are things that are invaluable. Like, you know, I just got lucky that I've met people who are good. You know, they're good people.
It's not luck, brother.
You also you attract that sort of stuff too.
You attract it, bro. You attract it because of what you're doing, the energy you're putting out in the earth.
Just how he said, I believe in that brand. I was also right behind it, and I told that to him. Like, I think one time I called him pissed off. I was like, bro, I'm sick and tired of being yourself. And I meant that, like, he knew what I meant by that. Like, I didn't mean that in a disrespectful way.
And then, you know what I told him? I'm like, I've been telling you.
Yeah. He straight up told me that. He's like, bro, you're too talented. Like, you're being lazy, honestly. And it was something I needed to hear.
Yeah.
It was something that if I didn't hear it, I'm over here blaming things that aren't. And in reality, it was the man in the mirror, you know?
Yeah, and it usually is. You know, one of the biggest things in business that holds people back are themselves. We talked about it. It's like people lack drive and dedication and motivation. And you don't necessarily need all of that for other people, but for yourself, like, it's invaluable. You know, it helps sometimes when you have kids and stuff like that. They help motivate you, right? But if you don't have it for yourself, you're not going anywhere, bro.
Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes you also need someone telling you, like, and he was very blunt about it. You know, he's like, dude, you need to do more. You need to do more.
And if you're a mid-level company, which if you have a couple techs, you know, start looking for values in other people, because if you're gonna scale, you can't continue to do it all. Danny's been down that route, and that's something we talk about all the time. You know, me and Danny talk, you know, in the car, on the way to job sites, we talk on the phone, and Danny's run into situations where he's lost $100K trying to do it all.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that when he lost that $100K, me and him already had a relationship. And that was a lesson that he learned, was that you can either try to keep it all, or you need, as a leader, to start entrusting, or you're gonna lose.
Yeah. And you learned that through him.
Yeah, so that's the level. Like, you guys are at that level where now we've built this system, we built this operation, but it's coming into a place where we need to develop a team from a different aspect. It's not just subbing out. It's not just technicians. You know, we need to put people in places of value.
It was a $100,000 lesson. Yeah, that's the way. I talked to him about this yesterday. Literally, I said,
"Hey, but nobody got hurt.
Well,
nobody's dying.
No, exactly.
Right, great.
So
bills are still being paid.
Exactly.
Bam.
I told him
the fact that you can lose $100K and not be out of business is some fucking shit.
I told him that. I was like, you know, at least I had $100K to lose.
Yeah.
You know, and not go under.
Absolutely.
I'll add to that.
Absolutely.
I'll add to that. The money doesn't matter when the skills are there.
Yeah.
You can lose $100K
and do it again.
You're gonna redo it again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. And so. Well, thank you guys for that. I appreciate it. I value the friendship that me and him have built, and you know, me and you, we text and talk often. Yeah. And you're a busy guy. Yeah. So, but
you're Danny's mentor, bro.
At least once a week, Danny's hitting me up on text, man.
That's funny that he says that, because I've been on the phone with him for hours, and he's a busy guy. Yeah. And we're talking, and he's just helping me through the phone, or like we're talking about whatever it is that's currently happening, whether with him or whether with me. And the fact that the insight is just always there. Again, he's a busy guy. He doesn't need to waste his time on me. But he sees something in me that for a while I lost touch of. Yeah. And he was like, no, dude, like, fucking just...
Well, I genuinely care about people, bro. You know?
And for just that, bro, you're going to go very far.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
The reason I started this podcast originally was... just to help other refinishers, because I remember calling around and asking, and everyone telling me "fuck you."
Oh, I get that middle finger. I used to get that middle finger all the time.
And especially in this industry, people don't talk. There's no platforms. You know, everybody's secretive. People don't want to talk about pricing. Or it depends on whatever. Like, nobody's providing real value. Everyone's running it out of their fucking, their car. They're not actually trying to build a real business. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, to be honest, one of the biggest steps for me and him, like he touched on it, but when you came over here, someone with a real operation, it showed us what was fucking possible. Yeah, bro. And that's huge, especially for people in this industry to see, because there's not a lot of them, bro.
Bro, like, I'll be transparent with you guys, right? And I realized a long time ago what I'm good at, what I'm great at, bro. And I also realized where I fucking suck.
Yeah.
Right? Like, can I do the admin work? Yeah, I know I can do it, but I don't want to do it.
Yep.
And I know I'll fucking suck at doing it.
Yeah.
Right? That's just the cold-hearted truth. I've been able to drink that lemonade a long time ago, bro. Right? So the one thing I realized, and reading books, I read a lot of books, bro.
Yeah.
And listening to a lot of podcasts, a lot of business people around everywhere is you can't do it all alone.
No.
I don't care who you are or what you are. When people tell me, man, like, how do you run 2 businesses? The first thing that says, I'm not doing this by myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to be very clear. I don't want to take that responsibility. I don't want to take that credit. You know what I mean? When I talk about Ace, I talk about Ivan, right? Ivan allows me to do what I'm great at, and that's going out there and doing sales. When I talk about Alliance, I talk about Michelle and Crystal. They allow me to do what I'm great at, is going out and doing sales, bringing the work in, bringing the customers in, keeping us busy, right? Talking to people, chopping it up, building relationships, networks, getting to know people. That's something naturally that God gave me a gift at a long time ago, bro.
Yep.
There's no way in hell that I can get as far as I have by myself. And I credit her a lot of times for keeping me in check, like not going crazy on people, because there's times where I get very over, like OCD wise, bro. Like if it is not going my way, if it's not going the way I need it to go, if it's not moving the way I want it to go, if it's not moving as fast as I want it to go, what the fuck are we doing?
I think that's a regular business owner mentality, right?
You know? So having a team or building yourself around a team, you're going to go very, very, very far.
Yeah.
Very far, bro.
So
by you guys linking up the way you have, this is just the beginning. Yeah. It is, bro, trust me, bro, when I tell you this. It is just the beginning, bro, right? Keep that same contact, keep that same communication, bro. Keep respecting each other, right? Keep holding each other accountable, right? Keep putting goals in front of each other, and I guarantee you, bro, fuck the sky's the limit. We're shooting to the moon, bro. Yeah. To the moon.
That's awesome. Like, honestly, man, like, it's good to have an outside person looking at what we're doing and, like, telling us that we're on the right trajectory.
Yeah.
Especially someone that has gone through all those trials and tribulations.
Exactly. Like there's so much bullshit, but I feel like there's so many things that he gave me a value, that I gave him a value, that we're skipping past a lot of these like side missions, bro, to get to the end goal, right?
Yeah, we don't really have disputes, bro.
No.
Like it's like we just know.
Yeah.
We just know from the jump. We have one conversation. It's like, say less. It needs to be done. It needs to be done.
What's trippy is, like, you hear a lot of people like, oh man, I don't have a business partner. Don't have a partner because it's gonna be a lot of bumped heads and egos talking, bro. When you find that partner that understands you, like,
sees the same vision.
Before I could even finish my sentence, sometimes with Ace Renovations, Ivan finishes it for me.
Yep.
Right? And when that started to happen, even before we started our business, I knew right away, this is my guy.
Yeah.
This is my guy because he speaks my language.
Yep.
He understands my vision. He understands as far as I want to go.
I see that with him because
what I mean?
we're so it wasn't even a question. I called Jonathan. I got this hotel, done deal, but they're like, hey, we have ownership in town this week, and we want like 10 tubs to be done as a demo. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Obviously, they're going to pay for them and everything, but this week was like they had to be done this week. I'm booked until the end of March. I was like, you want to send your guys to do this? He had some things on the schedule, moved them around. And he made it happen. Over there in Orlando. And that's where they are right now.
And just so everybody knows, that's me there, bro.
Yeah.
I took my crew. I painted those fucking tubs because those 10 tubs, it's not about whether I want to spray or not. That's going to lead us to earning a building.
Yeah, we learned that they have two sister hotels in the area.
We did those last 2 to 3 days, which my guys are there right now.
Yeah.
We did the bulk of the work Monday, Tuesday, and this is real life. I got technicians there right now. Not only is the work done, we have paying guys to make sure it's done correct.
Yep.
Every tub there is already finished.
Yeah.
They're going to every single tub and making sure that everything is perfect because we are delivering the representation of our company today.
Yep.
These are days that, as I'm a young company, like we could be creating profit today. I have 2 guys that could be generating me thousands of dollars today, but we sacrifice that to make sure that this connect goes through.
Yeah.
And if you aren't willing to give up some money to think of the big picture, you're never gonna get ahead. Never. And we had this conversation on site, bro. Like Danny's with me. He knows. We went through the calendar together. I was like, if we do this, if I send another guy, this is what we're gonna lose these jobs. We're gonna have to reschedule these jobs, and we made decisions. All right, we're gonna move these over here. He sent guys from his crew to make sure that our crew kept on pace.
Yep.
And he's not charging me for his guy. Those are the sacrifices. It's not about the money. It's about the big picture here.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, it's like I tell them, like, so this hotel has a sister hotel 20 minutes down the road that wants tubs done. Ask for a bid, and they're looking at these tubs to determine if they're going to do both hotels or not, right? So I'm telling them, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to keep up with both at the same time if they want them next month. Like, they want to start this project now.
And even if they did, I would be there for him.
Yeah, but
it doesn't matter whether we were going to get the fucking building or not, bro. We said we were going to show up and do 10 fucking tubs.
Hey,
we're doing 10 fucking tubs.
Fellas, the future's bright, bro.
Yeah.
Just keep that up, man. Don't only thing I can tell you is don't ever let your egos get involved, bro.
Well,
being able, seriously, man, being able to communicate, even if the conversation is uncomfortable, communicate regardless.
I was going to touch on that is, you talk about all these people talking shit about people that they've partnered with, or don't partner with him or whatever. And most of it is, let's be real, they're pussies. They don't speak up. And what happens is these things go unsaid, and you start painting pictures in your head of how people are, and then one day you blow up and you let them have it. And then all you ever were thinking about was all this negative shit when we could have just moved past it.
Yeah.
Like I could be upset about things like with people that I've worked with, but I just address it and move on.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
That's the only way to go about it, bro.
Yeah. Like I'm not holding resentment. I don't have time for all that bullshit. That shit takes up too much of your mind space.
We just talk and come to solutions. We skip the bullshit. We don't talk about this, that. No. What needs to be done, bro?
Yeah.
We talk, and I tell him where our limitations are, and we could use these last 3 days as an example.
Yeah.
Is we ran into major issues, dude. We can knock out 10 tubs. Like, that's not a fucking big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we ran into situations at this project, and it's like, this caused a situation that was supposed to be 2 days into 3 days, and it cost people money to escalate something like that from 2 days to 3 days. But we're on the same path. There was never a matter of if we're going to do it. It was just, it don't fucking matter. How are we going to do this? And Danny took upon himself to send guys to jobs that my guys were scheduled to do. His brother Alex steps in when needed, bro. Like, if it really needs to be done, and for example, we had a tub that there was an issue that needed to be addressed. I had no one left to go. He could have told me it's my fucking problem, but instead, his brother stepped down, handled the situation with the customer, the minutest detail.
Got a 5-star review out of it, though.
Exactly. And it was nothing. It was someone we've already serviced. We were already going back once. My guys handled it. And not only did we handle it twice, now his brother's stepping down from management to handle it a third time for one customer. One residential customer.
So is your brother on the same page with your guys' teaming?
Yeah.
Yeah. We talk with his brother. We talk all three together all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My brother is starting to see a lot of the stuff that he didn't see before, because it's kind of the same transition that you guys had. And it's young. I'm talking about maybe 3 weeks at this point.
Baby.
But it's changed for him. Like his whole perception is different. That's awesome. Like, he called me the other day. He was like, "Man, this guy's," one of our techs, I'm not gonna name his name, but he's like, "Man, this guy's fucking being so fucking slow." And I'm just like, yeah, that's him. That's how he operates. Like, but when he turns it in, it's gonna be good. Yeah. These other guys are fast. I told them, in every fucking business in the world, there is one person that, like, they're good and they're not as fast as the other guys, and there's always someone compensating for someone else.
Yeah, bro.
That's business. Yeah. So I'm like,
he's the cleanup man.
I was like, exactly. I was like,
he's the fourth batter up, baby. Yeah, I gotta clean up these bases.
Yeah, but like, he didn't realize that. I'm like, yeah, bro. Like, you start learning these things as you go. Also, he went through the thing where he gave 3 people the same time slot on the same day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what the fuck do you do about that?
Yeah.
I told him, you send one of the prep guys to prep that one, so that in the afternoon he can come back and hit that one, and tomorrow you reschedule that guy. Like, you got to just make it work.
Yeah.
And I told him, the sooner you call a customer, the less pissed off they'll be.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes, communication is.
That was our pretty much our conversation was like, was like, if by 3 p.m. you don't think you're gonna be done, you call that motherfucker. And I was like, and that's what we had to go. I was like, it's 1:30, Danny. I think I'm gonna call this motherfucker because I don't think we're getting out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's a lot of that. Like, and he's been there before too. So we have a lot of similar issues. The scale is different, but he's seen the issues and learned how to address them, and I've helped him address them. So.
A lot of times what we do, bro, is like I tell a lot of people. Most people don't listen to me, man. Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
You have to work smarter, bro.
I'm implementing that now.
A lot of people, like, it took me a while to understand that, but years ago, I finally, like, it clicked in my brain, like, bro, I'm getting stressed out. I'm doing all this and I'm doing all that. I could have just done it this way, and we would have been done a long time ago.
So this entire transition happened while I went on vacation. Mm-hmm. I spent 2 weeks.
Recently.
Yeah, recently. I spent 2 weeks training my brother on how to do the phone stuff.
He was still calling me though.
And yeah, he still was, but it's cool. I was like, look, man. I was like,
on good stuff. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna not be here, and I really don't want to be answering the phone on vacation. Yeah. So I'm gonna show you how to do it. And
good for
whatever.
you, bro.
And
good for you.
He really learned. To the point where I was seeing appointments being booked at tickets higher than I get sometimes.
But it wasn't just fucking luck. You also implemented, before he left, he put them through sales training.
Yep.
So before he took his vacation, he implemented a sales training for his management crew. Yep. Which that's why it worked.
Yeah.
It's the little things. Like you didn't just go on vacation. Right before you went on vacation, you were like, let's do some sales training because in about 2 or 3 days you're going to implement. Yeah. And they did.
And I had them answering the phone the week that before I was leaving, and then the week that I was leaving, I mean, I see them making regular sales. And I came back, the day I came back, my brother's like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm quoting this guy, I'll give you the phone back. And I'm like, how about you just
keep it?
Yeah. Just keep doing that. I was like, how do you like hands on the phone? He's like, I don't mind it. I'm like, okay. But that's you now.
I even see a different.
So how do you feel now?
Oh, I feel fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. So I'll talk to the commercial clients because it's a little different. Obviously, they need to be invoiced differently, all that stuff.
And it needs to be a little more aggressive, and that's where you come in.
Exactly. It's a different ballgame. But with the residential stuff, you know what it is too, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, Jonathan's heard me. When clients fuck around, I get hot-headed on the phone, bro. Yeah. One day we were at a cigar lounge and I let a customer have it, like, really fucking bad. Yeah. I was like, look, this is what's gonna fucking happen. Cause, all right, quick story. We go take out their drain, plumbing falls from underneath. We make that's a thing that happens here sometimes. I told them, I'm like, we're not liable. You asked my guy to do something that wasn't on the work order, because usually we would charge for that or make him sign a waiver.
Okay.
So we removed the drain, plumbing falls under the tub. And the guy was like, oh, well, I'm not going to pay for the job like this. And I'm like, look, here's what's going to happen, guy. Either you're going to pay for it out of pocket, or you could just keep the fucking tub as is, and I'm not going to fix the issue because there was an issue with, like, a run or something. I'll talk to people like that. That's something that's happened recently. And part of it is, we were talking about this earlier, bro, the stress of everything together, sometimes you just cannot put up with bullshit.
Yeah.
No,
you need to call it out.
You're still a human. Bro.
Yeah, bro, and it comes through the phone, which is the importance of what she was talking about when you were at the restroom, like having a good office staff, having good people in front of you, because we hear everything. We hear about what happened in ops, what equipment broke, how much money things are fucking costing, and then on top of that, fucking Karen's fucking tub has a run on it. Oh god! And then she's the last one. Bro. She's the last one that you talk to, bro. You can just sense the tension on the fucking phone. Mm-hmm. I needed that. So now with the residential clients, it's been a dream.
That was your solution. You needed to create thresholds.
Yeah, I don't have to talk to them.
So I'm gonna put my wife on the spot right now. Okay. So how has it been in the office since I haven't been going to the meetings? How's everything been running?
Since you haven't been going, or going back to the meeting?
Here's something funny right now.
How has it been since I haven't been there?
Breath of fresh air.
It is. It's a breath of fresh air.
That's how you know she's
I don't
ready.
know if it's a trick question because my hands just started sweating. Yeah. Is this a trick question?
We better keep your ass out. You're doing just fine.
But like when Ace started taking off, like Ace really took off really fast. Like faster than I think anybody thought it was going to take off. And he was really, really stretching himself really thin. But stretching yourself really thin was also, his fuse was really short.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when I say fuse was really short, like in the office, in the home, everywhere. And it just became a point where I'm like, you're making us uncomfortable. You're making everybody uncomfortable in the office, including the office staff sometimes. We can feel, not that he was saying anything, but you can just feel the tension.
You can feel it.
And I tell him, like, he's not the normal person, right? I walk into the room and the room is not electrified. He walks into the room and everybody knows Garcia's in the room, right?
Yeah.
And I tell him all the time, like, you have a different energy and people notice it. And if you're mad, people are going to notice you're mad. If you're happy, people are going to notice you're happy. If you're a little bit irritated with something, people are going to notice. So I asked him, like, I think you just need to step away from the meetings because we'll be more productive. Because it got to the point where people were like, am I giving the right answer? Am I going to say the right thing? Because he's a little tense today.
Yep.
And so he stepped away for a little bit, and it allowed us in the office and the other partners to really start putting our ideas out there, because I think he was such a force to be reckoned with that his way was the only way, so it shut us down a little bit internal, like within our ideas. We didn't want to say anything anymore because he was so passionate about what he was doing that his way was the only way.
Yeah.
And
I had a similar thing, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel what I was before I made the transition. I was feeling that exact way, and I would catch it, but it was just like sometimes you feel like you're the only solution.
Yeah, and that's how he was, and I'm like, you just have to trust that it's not gonna fall apart. Like it will still run when you're not there. Like we built a machine that just that goes, but right now, like, you're hurting the machine because, like, everybody that has, you know, a place in the machine doesn't want to, like, continue to rotate that machine because, for lack of better terms, they're kind of scared of you. Except me. Like, I know him. I know he's, you know, how he is. But when he stopped going, like, it allowed us to collaborate together for people that weren't speaking up to start speaking up. And then he kind of left it where, like, if you guys have to figure it out, which allowed, I think, us as owners, the other owners involved, it allowed us to kind of see where he was coming from with all the frustrations, especially me. Yeah. Because I tried to take on, when I asked him to, like, step back a little bit, I was like, I'll go in there, I'll make sure the meetings are being held, I'll make sure that things are getting done. If there's an idea that you have, I'll make sure that I relate it to the, you know, to the office staff, whatever. But it also allowed me to see from a different perspective where he was coming from, because now I get a little hot-headed. Like,
oh no, it'll get to you.
No, like, what do you mean? You know, we're gonna wait till Monday to address that? No, let's address it now. Like, why are we waiting? Or why didn't we do this? Or why didn't we do that? Because now I can see that point where he was covering up that part of it for a long time, that it didn't allow me to really understand where he was getting frustrated or mad. And now he's slowly starting to come back in, slowly. And I'm like, it has to be slow. Can't be like all the time, because he's the type of personality that gets very consumed. Mm-hmm. Like, if he's either all in or he's all out. It's not like just a little. It's just a little.
I don't know how to find that gray area, bro.
And that's what I have to tell him a lot of the time. Like, find the gray. You went to one meeting. You don't have to go to all the meetings. And even the first time he came back, it was like, what's Danny doing here? Are we in trouble? Like, what happened? Why is he here? And everybody got like, oh, here he is again. But I mean, I think he has good intentions, but I think, again, he's...
So we have a meeting every 2 weeks, management and the owners, right? Uh-huh. So we go over all the dues, all the wins, all the losses, you know, changes, awards, technicians, warranties. You know, we try to cover everything, so that way we're on the same page, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so slowly, I've been out of it for a while. So now it's weird for them, because when I come in, I just stay quiet. Yeah. You know, I just, you know, hey, I don't want to interrupt. I don't want to interrupt. But even though I'm staying quiet, they're all looking at me like.
It was funny, the other day he went into a meeting, and Natalie, I talked about Natalie a lot, but she was in the meeting, and he hadn't been there for a while, and he was just sitting there listening to everybody talk and sitting there listening to everybody talk. And Natalie slams down the paper. She's like, you know what, Danny, you're making me feel really uncomfortable. Like, you just sitting there and not talking is making me feel really, really uncomfortable. Yeah. And then Crystal, the other partner, chimed in. She's like, oh, he's not mad. That's not making me feel uncomfortable. When he's really mad, he'll say something. It's all right. Yeah. But
yeah. When he's mad, he's over there breathing.
He'll start huffing and puffing.
Is there any aspect of you that is like, this is a step forward? Like, because I'm assuming you built Alliance to build a legacy.
Yeah.
And you can't have a legacy if you're always fucking there.
Yeah.
So like, is there a part of you that's like, this was the whole recipe to begin with?
Yeah, bro.
Was relinquishing the control.
That's the part that I try to explain to her. Like, I think that's finally where it's at, bro. Right? Where I built it enough and I'm not there anymore. And the baby's still cooking, baby.
Mm-hmm. And it's not like he's relinquished everything. I think it's important, like we talked about earlier, to understand where your strengths are at. And that's what I tell him all the time. I'm not saying, like, don't be involved. Like, I want you there. We need you there. And there's times, too, like, when there's a tougher situation that, his presence is needed more than, somebody else's to handle that situation. I will call him in. But he still does sales. He still does all that other stuff. But that's what I tell him all the time. Like, your strength is in sales. You have a gift that, like, I can't recreate. And I mean, I can hire 100 salespeople, and he's just got the gift of, talk. He has this, like I said earlier, he has this energy that walks into the room and everybody knows he's there.
It's the presence.
Yeah.
But that stems from confidence, and that's all things that they just attach themselves to you with all the bullshit you go through to get to that point. Because you go into the room confidently, and everyone feels it. They feel that energy.
I mean, there's no other way to walk into a room, bro.
Yeah.
I think if you're not walking into the room confident, you're setting yourself up for failure, right?
If you don't believe in yourself, why would anyone else?
Yeah. And I'm not I'm not a cocky person, bro. I used to be, right? But I think lately or now for the past 4 years, I've been able to better understand myself and understanding that not everything needs to have a question, not everything needs to have an answer, right? Sometimes you just need to be there, support them, right? And I think that's where I'm finally at now with Alliance, where, she always tell me, man, you're making a big deal, but look at the numbers. Right, and she pulled out the numbers. I started looking like, God damn, we're doing good, bro.
But I think it's good for him also to come to things like this and hear, like, because just before we got here, I mean, we were talking about the insurance and stuff like that, and he's just like, that can't be the only solution, and like just getting upset about it, and like passionate about it. Sorry. But coming here and hearing that everybody else is having the same problem, or that everybody else is having the same problem, training technicians and getting them to be loyal and staying, and like privately we've talked about it, everybody's having that same problem. So I think it's more reassuring to him too, like, okay, it's not just us. It's not because, we're being lazy or we're not doing something, or, somebody's not doing their part in the business. It's the industry that we're in. Like, and the times that we're in,
and that is kind of proven by the success of the other company, how fast it exploded, because you're applying those same principles to Ace, but Ace is exploding to another level. But you got to remember, Tubbs is niche as shit.
Yeah,
it's so niche, man.
Niche.
Like, you ask 10 people on the street, and most of them won't even know that it's a thing. So you might have, like, there's a very real possibility, Danny, that you might be close to where the ceiling exists, and you're gonna have to make the new standard when it comes to Alliance. And
pretty much, that's why I was like, who do you look up to?
Yeah.
When you're you're leading this organization, and you have this, we look up to you and to see what you've accomplished and see how do we get to that point. Where do you see your future, and who do you look up to?
Bro, call me crazy, man, but I mention it all the time. I look up to Amazon, bro. Right, I know it's far-fetched. I know it's crazy, but like, you just like, I dream big, bro. I dream, like, since I was a kid, man. I mean, like, I grew up in poverty, bro. So I had a lot of time alone as a child, bro. My mom was working 2 jobs. My brother and sister were 10 and 12 years older than me. So I spent a lot of time at home alone, caged up in the house, right? So I had a lot of opportunity to imagine, to dream, to think big. And that's always been my thing, is even working for the other company, is whatever I put my hands on, I just want to do the best at it. And I want to be the best at it, right? I don't know what that means to most people, but I want Alliance to be the best, right? So I never settled for just being mediocre. And when I felt my partners were giving me mediocre effort, I felt it was my job to push them, right? Because if I didn't push them, if I didn't engage in that uncomfortable conversation with them, we would just be a regular company, right? We would still be, I'm not saying that down here is bad, but we'd be all the way down here, and I didn't want to be down there, bro. I wanted to be up here. I want to be able to send my kids to college, right? I want to be able to send them to private school. I want to be able to give them the opportunity to do things I never even imagined I could be able to do, right? So everything I do, man, is just to be the best, right? And to give your full efforts. And if you're giving anything underneath that, you're selling yourself short. You know what I'm saying? So when I was introduced to Amazon, I would tell her all the time, like, fuck, this company's crazy. You don't have to leave your house to go shopping. I'm just saying, right? Anything you want will be at your fucking door, right? And not just at your door, but like that. How can we implement that with reglazing, right? How can we be that company that when they look in the books or they look in the computer, I don't want to use anyone else, but I want to use them just because who they are, what they represent, how they will. So I think in the Bay Area so far, I think we're accomplishing that, bro, because a lot of the apartment complexes use us. And every time we raise the prices, they don't balk at it. They don't say anything about it. Anytime we have to add on a repair charge, is there. You know, they understand that we're doing it for the right reason. You know what I mean? So that's, you know, I guess to answer your question, man, that's who I look up to, bro.
When do you think for you guys would be the time to branch Alliance out and maybe open another location?
So that's a good question, bro. Really good question. So I have a technician I used to work with the other company. He's been working for Miracle Method. He lives, well, the place is up in Seattle.
Okay.
Some area in Seattle. So we're actually going to be looking up there soon, bro.
Okay.
So,
because, you know, I hear a lot of these things that you guys are saying, and they're not dissimilar, but you guys are doing very well with tubs. And, like, you know, I'm looking at you because you have 2 companies in the same area. They're doing different things, but one of them is a more common, traditional kind of business that does renovations, right? Then you have this super niche business. And I wonder if, you know, maybe for you it's not, maybe, I'm not saying Alliance has hit its limit. No, that's not. Oh, the more you guys do, the more work you're going to have in the future, return clients, all of that. But maybe if you want to see some growth immediate, bring it to another market, bring those same, you know, the same stuff you got, the same mantras, the same business plan, strategy, and test it in another market. And then you guys can have 2 different places growing the brand. Yeah. Because for us, it's helped a lot. Like I have, you know, a bunch of leads come in, and like when my schedule's full, instead of, you know, we were talking about how do you find people to sub or whatever, I have another location that can take care of it, you know? So things like that. And you guys do a lot of commercials. So, you know, if the project is worth it, Seattle and California aren't that far away, man.
No, sir.
So things like that might be another avenue for you guys, like, to explore, because I think that's going to help you a lot, man.
Well, I think that's our next challenge, bro. I think for Alliance Bath, that is our next challenge, is taking what we're doing and injecting it into another city.
Yeah.
Right? Let's see if our system works.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, I believe that we have a system that is running on full fucking cylinders.
And you guys are breaking records, you know, with sales and stuff. Like, it's still moving up.
You know, bro, like for Alliance right now, man, at our pinnacle, we were averaging anywhere between about 250 and 300 a month.
Okay.
Right? And I mean, that's a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Right? That's a lot. And I've always told her and my partners, like, it's time. It's time that we take this beast. We have the recipe. We have everything going. We have the system. Now it's time to inject it somewhere else to see if it really works.
Yeah.
See if it really works, right? And that's our challenge, bro. So our challenge for the next year and a half is to open up Alliance in Seattle.
That's that's something cool to look forward to, man.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
So let's go ahead. We're gonna end this first segment here. Take a break, recoup. We'll be back in a little bit. Record the other part.
Right.
It's been a good time, man.
Yeah.
So let's keep it going. But let me go out. I'm gonna end it here, and then we'll continue on a little bit. Okay.
Let's go.
You've been listening to the Bathtub Refinishing Podcast. If you liked what you heard, be sure to keep up with the Bathtub Guys on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, or visit BathTubGuys.com for more. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.